Hey, 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 hey. What's going on, people? It's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns, host of that show called Sports Plus Life. Yeah, you know it's about to go down today. Yes, sir. So turn it off, turn it all the way off. Ha! What's going on, people? Allow me to reintroduce myself again. My name is Brandon Brevon Towns, and this is Sports Plus Life, that show where we discuss all the hot sports topics, that needs to be discussed. We discuss a little life as well. And if this is your first time listening to this show, hit that subscribe button. Any comments or concerns, definitely leave in that comment box down below and become part of the Sports Plus Life family. You heard? But anyway, how is everybody doing today? It is Wednesday, November the 6th, 2019. And we got some stuff that we're going to discuss today. This, getting chilly outside, even though the weather is like throwing me for a loop all the time. 1 week it's like ice cold, got to leave your car on for about 5 minutes so it can defrost. And then we have a day like yesterday, we had Monday, where you could have wore shorts if you wanted to. Felt like springtime. I don't know, man. That global warming that a lot of people ain't paying attention to. But anyway, I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I just not too long ago got off of work. Want to go ahead and put this down before I got to go to choir rehearsal. So, without further ado, let's get to it. All right, you guys know where we going to start. It is past the midseason mark now in the NFL. And so we'll start there. We can do a quick little recap of the of last week, week 9, as we're going on into week 10. And we'll start off with what happened at the beginning with the Thursday night game. Me and my boy Sean, we called the 49ers to pretty much have their way with the Cardinals. And it didn't turn out like that. The 49ers won, but it was a way more difficult game than I'm pretty sure they bargained for. The Cardinals came to play. They, remember, they had started off 0-3-1 and then won 3 straight. Now they've lost 2, but they put up a fight, losing just by 3 points, 28-25. The San Francisco 49ers are 8-0. Who saw that coming at the beginning of the season? These nuts. Anybody who raises their hand that's not outside of San Francisco, you're lying, period. And then early Sunday, there was a game in London. It was the Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Houston handled their business 26-3. That 26-3 beatdown at the hands of the Houston Texans has given Nick Foles his starting job back. He's healthy. He's ready to go. Minshew Mania is now back on the shizelf. Another game, Buffalo handled their business against the Redskins 24-9. They're 6-2 now. Raise your hand if you saw that coming. And if you're outside of Buffalo, you're lying. And then in a game, a very good competitive game, I know I called the Vikings to win this game against the Chiefs. They did not. The Kansas City Chiefs won 26-23 with a walk-off field goal from Harrison Buckner. And then the game that nobody cared about, the Jets and the Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins got their first win of the year. I called it. I did call it. The New York Jets are absolutely pathetic. If you saw some of the plays in that game, Sam Darnold must have been seeing ghosts again. I don't know. I mean, the New York Jets are awful. They may be worse than the Dolphins. To be honest with you, they may be worse than the Dolphins. And then another game, the Chicago Bears at the Philadelphia Eagles. I said the Eagles would win. They did just that, 22-14. They almost gave away a big lead in the second half, but held on to win. We'll get into the Eagles in a bit. And another game, which I called a trap game for the Indianapolis Colts. They went to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it was just that, a trap game. My man Sean said that Pittsburgh would win. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh did win. They won 26-24. The senior citizen Adam Vinatieri missed a field goal terribly to end that game. And Jacoby Brissett also got injured in that game as well. And Brian Hoyer had this come in relief duty, and the Steelers won 26-24. The Carolina Panthers handled their business against the Tennessee Titans 30-20. The Raiders beat the Detroit Lions. I had Detroit winning that game, but the Raiders did win, and it was an entertaining game. They won 31-24. The Seattle Seahawks, and probably the game's most entertaining, the day's most entertaining game, they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a shootout 40-34. In overtime, Russell Wilson had 5 touchdown passes, 378 yards. MVP. Excuse me. For Russell Richmond. MVP. And the Cleveland Browns with a quarterback named the Cleveland Browns with Baker Mayfield lost to the Denver Broncos with a quarterback named Brandon Allen, who I never heard of. But hey, guess what? I'll take it. My Denver Broncos got a victory. They're now 3-6. The only thing that really, really grinds my gears is because I look at the Broncos team, I look at their schedule, I look at the way that their games have turned out. Our record should really be reversed. I mean, it really, as a Bronco fan, it has really pissed me off to no end. It's just one of those frustrating years where you're just like, when the majority of your games you play just well enough to lose. And that can be very irritating. But like I said, I'll take the win, the Cleveland Browns.
You suck!
All that hype, all that talent, and what are the Cleveland Browns? 2-6.
Biatch.
And the surprise of the day, the Green Bay Packers went to the Los Angeles Chargers and got smacked. They got beat up. They got biatched. Whatever you want to say. 26-11, and the game really wasn't even that close. Honestly. This is the most Chargers thing that they do. They start off the season craptacular with the exception of last year. Then once it gets to be a little too late, they act like they really want to play some ball. Just when you think that Phillip Rivers is finished, you say, well, no, here he comes. And then the upset that I predicted. I said the Ravens would beat the Patriots, and damn it, the Ravens beat the Patriots. And they didn't just beat them, they dogged them. They dogged them out. 37-20. They jumped out 17-0. I'ma say it again. If you've kept up with this show, I'm gonna say it again. The Lamar Jackson era is here. This dude is a superstar. He is a legitimate MVP candidate. The great Bill Belichick and that Patriots defense, which was supposed to be all-time great. I told y'all before they hadn't played anybody. I told you that the Patriots hadn't played anybody. Gave up 37 points. They could do nothing with Lamar Jackson. They could do nothing with Mark Ingram. The Ravens ran the ball down the Patriots' throat all game long, and the Patriots could do nothing about it. Their defense confused Tom Brady. They had a defensive touchdown. Tom Brady was just angry, just pissed on the sidelines, talking to himself. Probably saying, oh, God, Gronk, where are you at? Gronk, I miss you. Oh, we had to get rid of AB, didn't we? Oh, my gosh. And Mohamed Sanu, he's a slower version of Josh Gordon, who we just got rid of. And gee, Giselle, would you like to blow me? And oh, my gosh, what am I going to do? Man, I'm 42, and maybe now I'm starting to look at... I just love seeing that. I really did. I love seeing him like that. So, and, you know, the tests don't stop here for the New England Patriots, as their schedule, their next 4 or 5 games are pretty rough. They have a bye week this week, but they're pretty rough. You have to see the Eagles, and you have to see the Texans, you have to see the Cowboys, you have to see the Chiefs, you know, so we're going to find out about this all-time great defense, because I'm sorry, I'm going to say this. The New England Patriots were giving up just a little over 6 points in their first 8 wins. Look at their opponents. They played nothing but trash outside of the Buffalo Bills, who nobody thought they would be 6-2 at this point. But other than Buffalo, who have you played? The Jets twice. You've played the Dolphins. You played the Giants, the Redskins, who else? The Bengals, the Steelers, who actually, by the way, are 4-4. Mike Tomlin is doing a hell of a job coaching. But yeah, that's who you played. You have had the easiest schedule that I've ever seen a defending Super Bowl champion could have through the first half of the season. You damn right they should have been 8-0. They played nothing but trash. One team. Up until Sunday night's game, they had played one team that had a winning record. That was the Buffalo Bills. Everybody else, 500 lower. Most of the teams only had one win. And some teams, until the Dolphins, didn't have any. I mean, you talk about a cupcake, tomato can schedule, and we're saying, oh, this may be an all-time great Patriots defense. Man, please. They're a good defense. Yes, I'm not going to front. But when you play, opposition that is slightly above college level, and you're the New England Patriots, you should be 8-0. And, of course, the Monday night game, Dallas beat the Giants. Who cares? So, with that being said, what do we find out? It's like every week in the NFL is different. Every week is different. It really is. It's really different. Because last week I was saying how top-heavy the NFC is, and it still is. But now you've had Green Bay losing. They're 7-2. Minnesota lost. So no ground was gained, no ground was lost. But Minnesota 6-3. You had Carolina winning because now we have to look at wild card scenarios. We're in the second half of the season. Carolina won to get to 5-3. Seattle won, so they are 7-2, if I'm not mistaken. They're 7-2, and this Monday night they have the San Francisco 49ers. Oh, this is just gorgeous. It's gorgeous. And then you got the Philadelphia Eagles winning. They're 5-4. The Cowboys are 5-3. Philadelphia has a bye. Philadelphia has a bye this week, so they're not playing. We just found out yesterday, and I'm going to get my man Sean in here in a minute, if he's available. We just found out that Deshaun Jackson is out for the rest of the regular season. The only time he could come back the earliest he could come back would be if they make the playoffs wild card weekend, and that's up for debate. They signed Jordan Matthews. This is his third time being with the Eagles. Remember, the Eagles originally drafted him in 2014. So you have that situation going on. Like I said, now we got to look at wild cards. Detroit taking a loss. That was a major blow. A major blow. Chicago losing to Philly. Like I said, Chicago is they have an awesome defense. But I'm sorry, the person who drafted Mitch Trubisky and left Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes to wait should be fired now. Like yesterday. Because what the hell were you thinking? What were you thinking? So it's getting real interesting in the NFC. Meanwhile, in the AFC, of course, you have the Patriots that are still on top, but now teams are definitely now looking at them saying, okay. People are now definitely looking at them with an eyebrow raised, seeing what the Baltimore Ravens just did to them. And you have the Colts losing, the Texans winning. So the Texans are back in first place. They would be a third seed, they would be a third seed because they have the tiebreaker over the Kansas City Chiefs, who right now at 6-3 would be the fourth seed, and the Ravens, who would be at the 2 seed. With your wild cards from the AFC being Buffalo and the Indianapolis Colts, but the Raiders are right there. The Steelers are not out of the picture yet, even though I don't think they're going to make it. I think the injuries will be too much for them. But Mike Tomlin has proven what a damn good coach that he is. But you have to look at the injury to Jacoby Brissett with the Indianapolis Colts. Because somehow, some way, I think the Chargers are about to make a run. Just like in the NFC, I think the Rams are about to make a run. So it's going to be very, very interesting. Because I think we all know that the Patriots are going to be, of course, a lock. Well, they're always a lock. You just, maybe now it seems to be just a bit dicey on whether they're locked to be a number 1 seed or number 2 seed, because now, if you finish with the same record as the Ravens, and of course the Ravens have the tougher schedule because they're in a tougher division. I mean, even though, Cincinnati is awful. I mean, it is. I have not seen a season where there have been so many teams that are god awful. I mean, you got a top-heavy NFC, and the AFC is trying to catch up. You have a lot of good competitive teams, but you have some teams that are just bad. I mean, bad. The Cincinnati Bengals being one of them. The Miami Dolphins, even though they're coming off a win, have been another one. The New York Jets, who everybody had so much hope for this season, has been a huge disappointment. The Cleveland Browns, but in contrast, the Cleveland Browns beat the Baltimore Ravens. The Atlanta Falcons, like I said, to me, football's biggest disappointment is not the Cleveland Browns, because that tends to happen when you hype a team up so much. When you hype a team up so much that has not accomplished anything as a collective unit. The Atlanta Falcons were in the Super Bowl a couple of years ago with pretty much the same cast, even though you just got rid of Mohamed Sanu. Matt Ryan is still there. Julio Jones is still there. Devontae Freeman is still there. Calvin Ridley is a good receiver that they added. Their defense, for the most part, is still there. And they are bad. They are awful. And it's like, how you do that? It's like, wow. Like, you really suck. The Giants suck, even though we pretty much all thought the Giants would suck. The Redskins suck. I don't even know if we thought the Redskins would suck this much, but when I said if you have Case Keenum as your quarterback, your chances are not high. You'll be competitive in some games, but you're not going anywhere. Case Keenum is what he is. He is a backup quarterback. And so, and a reason why I say that is because, when you look at some of at playoff positioning, you have to look at these team schedules. New England still has to play Miami again. Now, Buffalo could be a different story, and Baltimore, they have to play the Steelers again. They have to play the Browns again. They play the Bengals coming up this Sunday. While New England's schedule does get tougher.
Biatch.
It gets tougher. You have to play the Philadelphia Eagles next. You have to play the Houston Texans and the Dallas Cowboys, then the Kansas City Chiefs. So their schedule now is finally looking like a pro schedule rather than those 8 scrimmages that they had before they played the Baltimore Ravens. So, like I said, it's getting very, very interesting as we have just hit beyond the midway point. We're 3 weeks away from Thanksgiving, and we're going to see now what all these teams are made of. Okay, like when I talk about basketball, I'm not going into detail with basketball yet because no team has even played 10 games in an 82-game season. The most I'll mention about basketball when I get to that topic is the most notable thing is that the Warriors are probably finished this season because Steph Curry has broken his hand and he's out for a while. Draymond Green got hurt. They just need to play with some heart. They did that in beating the Portland Trailblazers, but I digress. Let me stick with football while I'm still on the football topic. I'll get to the NB of the A next, my G's. But in the meantime, with one of my dogs unavailable right now, I have on the line with me now my cousin David. He is a Patriot fan. I've always called him a bandwagon Patriot fan because he liked him when Randy Moss got there. But that was a while ago, so he's considered a Patriots fan. So what up, homie?
Bitch, I was about to say, nigga, I ain't one of your people, nigga. We family. And 2, sucking dick. So whatever. What's good?
I said my cousin David anyway.
That's cool. What's up?
All right,
Hey,
so
what's good, America?
well, America just said what's good back. And homeboy.
What's up?
Your boys just got they asses handed to them.
You know what? I'm not reading too much into it. I really not. I broke down the game. I analyzed it myself the other day. You know what? Shout out to Baltimore. So I thought Baltimore did exactly what they said they was going to do, and it looked good. I give big props to Baltimore. Steven Jackson looked like a star that game. I'm mad at his touchdown run when he looked like a 2K player, an NFL 2K player. But they look good. They look good. Not mad at Baltimore. But what does New England do when they lose like that? They get back on that horse, baby. I hate to quote George Bush Jr., and they get back on that horse and they ride. But they get back up. So I don't read too much into that. So, yeah, we take it there. We wasn't going 16-0. The first half of the season, we had it easy. Fine, whatever. But that was an L. We took it. Bing, bang, boom. Everybody's going to get one. Bing, bang. We're moving on. What else you got for me?
Okay, well,
Baltimore looks great.
Well, yeah, Baltimore does look great, but is there anything that you would be concerned about or, give you cause to pause? And I'll tell you why. Because you just said it yourself as far as, you had it easy. Pretty much 7 of the first 8 games of the season, you played teams that were barely above college level. You played the Jets twice, the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Redskins, the Giants, so but not even that. So, this is why I've been saying, and I said to you the last time when we got up on your birthday, this defense.
I saw it, and it was good. It was good. You know what? It's not even the defense. The defense is good. The defense did exactly what they needed to do. It's not even the defense, really, Pimp. It's the offense.
But that's partly where I'm getting at, because the defense looked so great playing totally inferior competition. Now you're having to step up in class, and what Baltimore proved is if you have a good line and a good running back, and a mobile quarterback, you can run the ball down their throat. Now, mind you, they're playing Philadelphia. They'll be favored to win that game. But then you have the Texans with Deshaun Watson and Carlos Hyde. Then you got Dallas with Dak and Zeke. Then you got Kansas City with well, I hope you do crush Dallas. But what I'm saying is you're taking a definite step up in class, and more so the offense too, because now with the offense, think about this, bruh. At the beginning, after week 1 of the regular season, the Patriots had Josh Gordon, Antonio Brown, Demaryius Thomas, and Julian Edelman. Now all you have is Edelman. They released Josh Gordon. Mohamed Sanu is a slower version of Josh Gordon. You traded Demaryius Thomas to make room for Antonio Brown, and then Antonio Brown got released. So Tom Brady is compromised with his weapons, and he's starting to look his age. To that, what do you say?
He is old, and that's one thing I've been saying from game to game. It's not just from this version, whatever else. Tom Brady is old, and I've been watching the news. I've been watching from this sportscaster to this sportscaster. Tom Brady is old, and this might be Tom Brady last year.
In New England, but I don't think this is his last year.
No, I've been watching Stephen A. say it from time to time. Tom Brady might be done after this year. I don't think Tom Brady's got much left in the tank. This might be it for Tom. I'm gonna
tell you why I don't think this is. I'm gonna tell you why I don't think this is Tom Brady's last year, because I think he wants to prove so bad that he can win without Belichick, and I think Belichick wants to do the same thing. That I think Tom Brady, given the right situation, I believe he would go play somewhere else. Might seem effed up, but I believe it may be a reality. Hey, come on, let's be real. Joe Montana is known as a 49er. He retired with the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Brett Favre was known as a Packer. He retired with the Vikings.
Same thing. Brett Favre did the same thing, but were they really the best versions of themselves when they did it?
I think Brett Favre had one of his best seasons his first year in Minnesota. Joe Montana did take the Chiefs to the AFC Championship game, and Peyton Manning won us a Super Bowl, even though he's mostly known for being a Colt.
Right, but at the same time,
well, our defense won the Super Bowl, but okay.
Look at the whole range of all of them. Out of that whole spectrum of them, Peyton Manning stepped into that best situation because his defense won him that Super Bowl.
Right. I agree. I don't disagree.
Peyton Manning ain't had to do shit.
But when you ask the question, were they the best version of themselves? Yes, the defense did carry Denver to that Super Bowl, but 2 years prior, Peyton Manning had the best year of his career, and that was when he was in Denver. When he broke every single season passing record known to man.
He did. So this is really right now. This is Tom going full circle. I heard it best when a podcaster, who I think it was Champ who said it, and he said, you know what, the circle of football is like the circle of life. You're born, somebody wipes your ass, and you get fed from a spoon. And same thing with football. You read defenses, or you learn to read defenses, and then at the end of the day, you go out. Tom is doing the same thing. Tom broke records, Tom won Super Bowls, and then now he's training the next generation. But inevitably, he can go out on top. If we do win it, if not, then he's had a good run.
Well, he's had a great run. I mean, by most standards, he's seen as the greatest of all time. Not by me, and I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this as being a hater. I'll break this down just a little bit. I'll go into details on another episode, but I don't think Brady is the greatest pure quarterback of all time. He's the most accomplished one, obviously, but what I do think he's the greatest of all time at is he is the great. Him and Belichick are the greatest quarterback coach combo of all time. You can't take that away from him. But pure quarterback, I do not give that to Tom Brady. I cannot give that to Tom Brady. So I mean, that's just.
He's not the best purest athlete quarterback of all time.
I'm talking about pure. I'm talking about pure at playing the quarterback position. I can name you 5 off the top of my head.
No shit. But he's the most accomplished.
Yes, he's the most accomplished one, of course. Of course. I mean, but it's almost like saying, does Michael Jordan win 6 championships without Phil Jackson? We'll never know. You would assume he wouldn't, but we'll never know. Would Kobe win 5 rings without Phil? We don't know. Would Duncan win 5 rings without Popovich? We'll never know.
And again, it goes back to my all-around thought. What do they get into the game for? Don't you go into the game to be great? Don't you get into the game to be a quarterback, to get onto that status to be the greatest of all time?
Nigga, I would be going into the game for a check.
Me too, motherfucker. Me too. Me. Yeah, I'm going in. Hey, you gonna give me league minimum? I'll take it. I'll take 2 games. I'm good.
Exactly.
I'm good.
I'll be the third.
I got $375,000. I'm done.
I'll be the third string. I'll be the third string punter. Happy.
Yeah, I'm happy. That's all I need right there. I played 2 games. Threw 2 passes, both were interceptions, but I got $375. I'm all right. I'm all right. My arm is shit. I'm okay. But I got $375 for 2 interceptions. Ha. What you motherfuckers did today? Oh, you worked at FedEx today. Ha. Bitches. I got nothing. You go into the game to break records. You go in to be great. You go in to win championships. He's the most accomplished quarterback of all time.
Don't get on my ass.
You can't measure that.
Well, like I said, I will never argue his accomplishments. But only thing I would debate is when they say, well, he's the GOAT. And I'm like, well, define the GOAT. If you're saying the most rings, okay. You know what I'm saying? But if you're saying he's the greatest quarterback or the greatest football player to ever play, I disagree with that.
No, you can't do that because there's greater football players. You can go with Lawrence Taylor.
Right.
Who's defined the tackle. I've got that.
Jerry Rice. Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders. There's
Jim Brown.
Football players. Oh, man, come on now.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
There's so many better football players. Yes. The greatest at the football as far as quarterback, I mean, he's still in the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, he's in the conversation, but I don't think as a pure quarterback he's better than Peyton Manning. I don't think he's better than Aaron Rodgers. I don't think as a pure quarterback he's better than John Elway or Dan Marino. To be honest with you, I don't. I really don't. And I think maybe when it's said and done, like I said, I don't think he's better than Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers. Patrick Mahomes may prove to be better as well.
Patrick Mahomes, listen, I fuck with Patrick Mahomes. I like what Patrick Mahomes doing right now. I like the fact that he's an athletic quarterback and he's young and he's got the heart. Whether he proves to be the future of the NFL, time will tell. But right now, he's gotten up them licks. He's proven to be better than RG3.
Well, I mean, come on now. I mean, come on, RG3. I mean, come on. Throw a better comparison out than that.
But let's go back to what you were just saying. Would RG3 had a better career if the coach would have got him out of there sooner than letting that boy keep taking snaps?
Well, see. The thing is RG3's biggest problem is RG3 wouldn't allow anybody to protect him from himself and his ego.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a quarterback, and he didn't even know how to slide. I mean, you didn't even know how to slide. Either they were bringing people in from the Washington Nationals to teach him how to slide. I mean, bro, you're a running quarterback. I mean, you're a running quarterback, but you can't slide. I mean, Lamar Jackson, and but it's odd enough that he's the backup for Lamar Jackson.
Antonio Brown might be, and a lot of folks will hate me for this. I'm probably going to be hating it later on. Please send it to the right email. Russell Wilson requested this man come back. So obviously the man's got great talent, but his mindset is fucked up.
Well, it's funny that you say that because the Seattle Seahawks actually were looking at Antonio Brown, but instead they signed Josh Gordon. And you know what's funny about that? What has Josh Gordon gotten suspended over and over and over again for?
Ego.
Smoking weed. And now he's going to a state where weed is legal.
He's another Ricky Williams.
But I'm saying, now he's playing for a team where weed is legal in the state. He plays for Seattle now. I'm like, wow.
Look, man, we can go back and forth with this all day. Look, there's great talent all over the NFL right now. Great young up-and-coming talent. Love them all. Right now, I'm just enjoying the game of football. I love to watch teams that's just like, man, that niggas do that? Man. Cool. Competition. Love it.
Well,
some moves for my boys because, hey, that's what it is.
Well, quick.
This is going to America, but fuck America. Y'all brought Trump in. Ha fuck America.
Well, quick, before I get on, I'm going to get on to boxing. I want to discuss a little of that with you, too. But let's just make some quick predictions for the games next week. Thursday night game, tomorrow night, the Chargers at the Raiders. To me, this is a tough one because the Raiders are better than what people realize that they are.
Yeah, you know, honestly, I've been keeping up with some Raider games. And you know, that one trade, what was the last trade that folks was talking about? Because that is actually a good trade for them. I just got finished watching that trade agreement.
I don't know who the Raiders just traded for. Last notable name I know that they traded for was getting rid of Amari Cooper, but I mean they got some things working. I'm gonna.
We used to talk about it all the time. The Raiders are gonna be a good team, and it's not an overnight thing. It's not a next year thing. They're gonna be a good team.
Yeah, but it's been a 17-year process.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I'm gonna reluctantly pick the Chargers. I'm gonna reluctantly pick the Chargers to win that game.
I'm gonna go against you because I can't agree with you, and it's your podcast, I know. But I'm gonna take Chargers.
No, okay. I said I'm taking the Chargers too. Okay. Sunday. Sunday, the Lions versus the Bears. I think the Bears are overrated. I like the Lions.
Yeah, I kind of do like the Lions too. The defense is still damn near impregnable. The styles is ferocious. Got to quote Mike on that one. Yeah.
And then Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a joke. I don't think John Harbaugh will let Baltimore have a letdown game after their big win over New England. I like the Ravens.
Yeah, of course. I don't want to, but at the same time, Cincinnati, really. I just start quarterback in Cincinnati, and we still lose, but I still get my money, so it don't even matter. I go out hurt with a goddamn left testicle injury, and yeah, we still lose it. But I still get my money, so it don't matter.
Buffalo at Cleveland. This is an interesting game because I see this as being a trap game for Buffalo, who is 6-2. I just don't believe in them yet. I'll pick them to win this game because Cleveland's a mess right now.
Of course. You got Freddie Kitchens is what he really needs to be doing is fighting for his goddamn job. He ain't worried about what his quarterback is talking about, and it's bullshit because at the end of the season, he's getting fired.
Oh yeah,
he's getting fired.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Kansas, you can quote me on that.
Kansas City at Tennessee. Matt Moore had a good game, backing up Patrick Mahomes.
He did.
Tannehill has played okay, even though they got smacked at Carolina. I'm going with the Chiefs.
Yes, he did. So who's starting? Matt Moore?
Matt Moore is starting, but, I mean, you still have all those offensive weapons. I mean, he threw up almost 300 yards. He put almost 300 yards up against a good Vikings defense. You still have, their weapons have come back. Tyreek Hill is back. Sammy Watkins is back. Shady McCoy is back. Kelsey, yeah, I like Kansas City.
All right.
And there's nothing exciting about Tennessee's offense that will exploit, maybe other than Derrick Henry, that will exploit Kansas City's weak defense. There's nothing dynamic about Tennessee at all.
That's the thing with Kansas City. Their defense, yeah, they'll score. They're like us. They'll score, but they can't stop nothing.
Well, y'all defense doesn't have y'all defense has been the strength of y'all team. It's been y'all offense has been the question mark.
His offense is terrible. Our defense will take away a bunch. Our offense can't produce nothing, and that's terrible to say. And I forgot you were recording this because it was like, oh, goodness gracious. You know what? Yeah, Kansas City.
All right, NFC South matchup. The Falcons at the Saints. To me, the Falcons are the most disappointing team in the NFL. Drew Brees is back. I think the Saints will win.
They need to keep that boy. No. Drew Brees, that's fine. He want to get a warm-up game. Cool, but...
oh, you thinking they should stick with Bridgewater?
Yes, because Teddy Bridgewater ain't do nothing wrong. Teddy Bridgewater kept him alive.
Well, that was his door. I mean, I don't disagree with you, but that's the job of a backup quarterback. If the quarterback, the starter gets hurt... let me tell you something. If the Saints go on to win the Super Bowl this year, Teddy Bridgewater needs to get a boatload of credit, maybe a team MVP vote, because the Saints were 5-0 when Drew Brees went out. When a lot of people totally wrote them off, Teddy Bridgewater came in and did his thing. He did his thing.
Everybody wrote the Saints off when it was just like, well, Teddy Bridgewater needs to be the maintainer of the team, just to be like, all right, so they need to be at least 5-3, at least break even. Teddy Bridgewater came in and did his damn thing.
Yeah, he did. So you got the Saints winning that game?
Yeah, I got the Saints winning that one.
Okay, a couple of games that nobody really will care about. Jets at Giants. I think the Giants will win. Who cares?
I'm not even going to comment on that because who cares?
Exactly. Okay. The Cardinals and
they need to all come on the field with guns and shoot each other in the face. That's all I care about. That's it. Don't give two shits about. I'm not even going to predict on that because I don't even care.
The next game, which I believe this next game, I believe will be a lot of points. It's not going to have any bearings on any playoff implications. The Cardinals and the Buccaneers. I like Tampa to win this game. I like Tampa to win.
Yeah, I would like to read a crap goddamn $100 bills too, but moving on.
Okay. The Dolphins at the Colts. Dolphins just got their first win. I think the Colts will win this game, though.
Miami just got their first win. I want to see them win, too. I want to be the spoiler on that one. I want to get two. Just so they don't pick up that draft pick.
Well, right now, hey, that could be right now. That's looking like that's going to be Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, they suck donkey balls. But hey, Miami just picked up a win. Granted, look who they picked it up again. But
the Jets.
Miami got a win. Yeah, so it's a win. Hey, I heard there was a big ass party in Miami. I'm mad I missed it. I want them to get the win.
Okay.
I'm playing spoiler on that.
And the Panthers at the Packers. Packers just coming off of an embarrassing loss. Carolina's hopping back with a win. You just found out this season that Cam Newton's out for the rest of the year. It's in Green Bay. I think that Aaron Rodgers, after blame deflecting in the media, I think the Packers will win.
They're going to destroy them. And Cam Newton, I don't even think Cam Newton's out. I think Cam Newton is gone. I think they moved on past Cam Newton.
I wouldn't be surprised. I almost agree with you on that.
Moved on past Cam.
That's Christian McCaffrey's team now.
Yeah, he's not a bad quarterback. He's got mechanics down.
No, Christian McCaffrey. I'm talking about their running back. Oh, are you talking about Cam?
Cam. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's decent. I'm talking about Cam's situation. They hell with the rest of them. It's Cam team, but they've turned like that's disappointing.
That is Christian McCaffrey's team now, bro.
That's sad, man.
And then the 4:00 game. Well, another 4:00 game, which I think will be interesting, is the Rams at the Steelers. The Steelers. Mike Tomlin's a damn good coach. He's had to play with second and third string quarterbacks. James Conner's hurt. But I think the Rams are about to make a run. I like the Rams to win that game.
It's about that time of the year when the Rams do it.
And the Sunday night game, Minnesota at Dallas. My hatred for the Cowboys will make me pick the Vikings. Plus, I think the Vikings have a better team.
I slept on Kirk Cousins, I think, long enough. And he's playing better. I'm going to take the Vikings.
And the Monday night football game, which is an absolute beauty, the Seattle Seahawks at the undefeated San Francisco 49ers.
That's what I'm waiting for. The Monday night game. That was everything else. The Monday night game is going to be beautiful.
Lord, I don't know who to pick.
I'm not even going to pick that. I'm waiting for everybody to just watch it play out. Nope. Monday night's going to be Monday night. I'm not picking nothing. I'm just going to watch it. Hell with that. I'm even off Monday. I'm
going with an upset. I think Russell Wilson might stamp the MVP possibly with a win in San Francisco.
You know what? I'm taking the MVP to Russell Wilson, period, because just the fact that Russell is incredible.
Yes, he is.
I got to say it. Russell's incredible. Russell's incredible. Period.
Well, now that I've gotten off...
Shout out to Sierra, too, man. For real. Shout out to Sierra, too, man. For real, man. She need to call me, though.
Uh-oh. Don't do that.
He can't fight. That's
cool. Well, D, I'm going to move to boxing. I'm not sure if you knew that Canelo Alvarez fought Sergey Kovalev for a portion of the light heavyweight championship. Canelo went up 15 pounds. And
I didn't watch it.
I watched the fight, and it was very dry. I'm not going to lie. It was a dry fight. You could tell that they had respect. There was just too much respect. It was too much respect shown up until the knockout.
Neither one of them was talking about each other's mothers?
No. I mean, because, like I said, there was a lot of respect being shown, and Canelo was just systematically breaking him down. We all know Kovalev can't take it to the body, even from a middleweight. Yeah, he couldn't take it to the body, and eventually Canelo chopped him down and knocked him out in the 11th round. Kovalev, I think, is finished because people know that. I mean, he's a very skilled fighter, but Andre Ward exposed that body. He can't take it to the body. But what do you think of this, D? And I don't think this will happen. It would be great if it does. Well, I'm not going to say never because money talks, especially in boxing. Now that Canelo has moved up and gotten a light heavyweight belt, if you want an over-the-top pot of gold fight, because he said he's not going to fight Triple G again, even though I will sit here and say Canelo didn't win either of those fights. He lost both of them. But if you want an over-the-top pot of gold fight, he needs to get Andre Ward to come out of retirement and fight him.
Okay. All right, stop that. Okay, you just understand that. That'd be like Pacquiao requesting that Mayweather come out of retirement and they fight again. What's going to happen first?
The difference is Floyd Mayweather is 42 years old and Andre Ward is 35, 36. That's a big difference. That's a huge difference.
Fair enough. Like you said before, money talk. They throw enough money at that fight. The fight gonna happen. It'll take some time, but the fight gonna happen.
I mean, it really doesn't have to take any time. I mean, Andre Ward hasn't fought in 2 years since he won his rematch with Kovalev. I mean, he should be well rested. He would want to come back for a tune-up fight, but I mean, I believe that would be a super mega showdown, because when Andre Ward retired, he was pound for pound the best in the world. Andre Ward is still undefeated. You know, Canelo's been beat, albeit by Floyd Mayweather. But I believe that's a fight that that Oscar De La Hoya should definitely try to make happen. Because now Canelo is at a point now, and Golden Boy has definitely helped him along the way. Canelo's at a point now where all of his fights have to be huge events. So you look at it. So who is there for him to fight to make a huge event anywhere from the middleweight to super middleweight? Okay, maybe Charlo, maybe one of the Charlo brothers. You know, maybe one of the Charlo brothers, and does that become a mega event? I mean, I'm sure they'll talk shit and they'll make it entertaining. Jarrett Hurd, maybe. I mean, Jarrett Hurd is coming off of a loss. And then when you go light heavyweight, I mean, the top dog of the light heavyweight was Kovalev. So you're looking at who is out there, unless you do a third Triple G fight, which Canelo has already said he doesn't want to do. Who are you gonna fight to have that huge main? Because all of the big name fights to be made are either at welterweight or at heavyweight.
Oh, you don't want to sound like that, huh? Well, that's but there's gonna be a lot of money thrown at him, and he ain't gonna turn that down. That's all I know. The money's gonna talk in that one.
It would have to. If you threw Andre Ward something like $50 million, $60 million, you think he would? You think he really wouldn't think long and hard about that? If you're talking about, come out and fight Canelo for $10, $15 million, no, he's not going to do that. But if you triple or quadruple that amount, I think the wheels in his head would start turning. I'm politicking for it. I'm politicking for it because now I'm looking at the fights that would have the most luster that somehow or another it may not happen at all, or have lost some of its luster. Being that Anthony Joshua got beat by Andy Ruiz, him fighting Deontay Wilder, while it would still be a major fight, it's lost its luster.
Maybe he has just lost it, and maybe that's just the end of the road. Or maybe he knew he lost his luster during that fight. He just don't have it. So maybe that's just the end of the road. Maybe he just want to go out undefeated. And then that's just the end of it.
But maybe who wants to go out undefeated?
You want Mayweather wanted to go out undefeated?
No. But what I'm saying is, I'm looking for fights, for mega fights that are events. Okay? Because they were some fights in boxing that had mega event written all over it, but now they may not happen, or if they do, they may have lost their luster. One of them, we wanted to see Joshua and Wilder fight each other. Joshua has lost. So now if they do fight each other, now it won't have the same feel or effect to it. Another fight is Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. Promoters are getting in the way of that fight not happening, and then Errol Spence got into a serious car accident. So who knows when he's going to be back in the ring. You know what I'm saying?
He might not.
That's what I'm saying. Now that might not happen now. because of that car accident. So yes, I'm campaigning for it. Come on, Ward versus Canelo. I mean,
number two, boxing is it's different from when we watch boxing, bro.
Yeah.
They were warriors. These cats, they not to say they're not warriors, but they not for their own. I'm gonna stand on mine. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna.
You know what? I'm not gonna accuse the fighter of that. These promoters out here, these promoters out here are so worried about their fighters losing and potential money being taken away from their quote-unquote cash cow that they don't want to make these fights.
They don't want to do it.
That's where the UFC reigns supreme, because Dana White says, hey, if you're the best and you're the best, you're fighting.
Fair enough. I'll give you that. But UFC is a different arena altogether. You can get kicked in the head in 2.5 milliseconds or whatever milliseconds. You get in your head, the fight's over.
Oh, I know.
That's pretty much it. Boxing is different. Boxing is a whole different arena.
Well, like I said, I'm politicking for it. I'm politicking for Canelo versus Andre Ward. So, with that being said, D, I definitely appreciate your time, Cuzzo. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up and tell everybody peace out.
For sure. Kiss the baby from.
All right. Well, the world is listening. Tell everybody see you later and give them your final thoughts.
All right. Well, final thoughts. These nuts. Whoever will never keep them. Yeah, that's about it. Love y'all, man. Everybody holler at me, man. My Instagram, all that other shit. Facebook, y'all know where I'm at. If y'all got any dirty hate mail, just make sure you send them to your girl titty pictures.
Send what?
If anybody got any hate mail for me, just make sure you send them to girl titty pictures. That's about it. Your boy out. 2 fingers.
All right, bro. I'm gonna get at you in a little bit. All right.
What's up, big homie?
All right, man.
Later.
All right, man. I tell you, man, I got some one-of-a-kind people, man. Sean last week, David this week. I got some one-of-a-kind people, but that's my family. They're my family. I love them dearly. And just wait until Sports Plus Life is live on YouTube. Oh, boy, are we going to knock stuff off the hinges? But anyway, let me quickly go into the NB of the A. I'm not going to go into detail. The Lakers have won 6 straight games. LeBron James is posting triple-doubles out the wazoo. He looks great, but like I said, it's still early. Steph Curry broke his hand. So I believe that, I went from seeing the Warriors as being a playoff team. I saw them still being a threat. But with Steph out, nah. And Clay is already out. And now Draymond is banged up, nah. And, you're talking about a quick fall from grace, and the crazy thing is that these NBA teams are going to rub the Warriors' face in it all day. They are going to rub their faces. They're going to rub their noses in it because for the last 5 years, that's all they've had to deal with. Golden State, Golden State, Golden State, Golden State. So, it's too early for me to really dissect basketball the way that, most of these shows on TV are going to do it, because I'm locked into football. When it's a big fight coming up, I'm locked into that. And college basketball also started. College basketball started last night. Duke beat Kansas. Michigan State. Was it that Duke that beat Kansas? Yes, Duke beat Kansas and Kentucky beat Michigan State. They had the top 4 teams playing each other. The defending champion Virginia Cavaliers play tonight. They're playing Syracuse. VCU, Virginia's ranked number 11, the disrespect. Defending champs ranked number 11 to start the season. The VCU Rams are number 25. They won their game over St. Francis in Pennsylvania. So, with that being said, wet a buzzer, wet a buzzer, wet a buzzer. And for today's life topics, man, it's just all about positive vibes, people. All about positive vibes. My church is having a fast where we're not supposed to curse or complain. I'm doing my podcast, so I am Brandon Brevon Towns right now. So if you heard me slip up, don't sue me. But it's all about positive vibes. Just realizing how blessed that you are for everything that you have. Think about everything you're blessed to have, not everything that you don't have, and when things aren't going your way. Remember this: your attitude can determine your altitude. How you conduct yourself to people, how you treat people can determine on how high you get in life, whether that's personal life or in corporate life. So with that being said, it's your boy Brandon Brevon Towns. This has been another episode of Sports Plus Life. Don't hesitate to hit that subscription button for my boy D Beezy, for my cousin D Beezy. I'm gonna get at y'all later. Peace.